All right, let's get into this now. The battle against gangsterism in the Gauteng province has taken a significant step forward with the implementation of a robust inter-departmental Anti-Gangsterism Implementation Plan, spearheaded by the Department of Police Oversight and Community Safety Initiative. This is aimed at addressing the recruitment of minors into gang culture. Let's get some more now into this particular call to say the plan to fight gangsterism must not only be confined in the Western Cape, but must be extended to Gauteng as well. Bishop Dulton Adams is chairperson of committees in the Gauteng provincial legislature. Good evening to you, sir. Thank you very much for your time. You've written to the acting minister of police. Have you had any responses yet about your call to extend the fight against gangsterism to Gauteng?
No, I haven't received. Afternoon, Collie, and to your viewers, I have not yet received any response, I trust. It's Sunday, we all should work on Sunday, but maybe tomorrow, overnight, we'll get some response, Collie.
Yeah. You commend the acting minister of police for being honest about the challenges in this fight against gangsterism, specifically where it has been going on for over a decade, as your statement says. What can you highlight as some of those instances of honesty that the minister has elucidated in the last few days as giving you hope that perhaps something new is afoot here?
Thank you so much, Collie. I must be honest, when I listened to the minister and I watched for the past few days that he's been there with all these generals and commissioners in Mitchell's Plain and all the areas on the Cape Flats, I heard him when he said that he's really serious about tackling this gangsterism and drugs. And the open letter is both a commendation that I wrote and also a desperate request, if I can call it that, Collie, for him to come forward to assist even here, that the plan that he has, which he says has been given to him by the commissioners and also by the Director of Intelligence in the Western Cape, would find expression here in Gauteng. Secondly, the openness and acknowledgement that there is no concrete plan in place to combat the escalating gang violence currently devastating the Cape Flats. So I presume the same for Johannesburg's Westbury and Eldos and surrounding areas. So the fact that the minister actually began to, openly said there is really no plan has actually intrigued me by the honesty of the acting police minister, in that he admits that a plan was presented, but that the plan remains unresourced and unimplemented. Now, this kind of accountability, Collie and viewers, for communities have been long they have been long commanding, and asking for this and demanding from especially leadership of the safety and security space. So we hope that as the minister comes clean and he's honest, that honesty will become the bedrock and the basis for a plan to be implemented, not only in the Cape Flats, but also in Johannesburg's Eldos and Westbury and surrounding areas.
But how much longer, Mr. Adams, how much longer should communities have to wait? Because the body count is simply alarming, particularly in the Western Cape.
One of the most bold statements that I've heard the minister makes, in Mitchell's Plain is, and I fully endorse it, is that the acting minister, and I quote, he says, "We need to go on the offensive against drug lords, stabilize our communities, make sure that you are in charge." Then he says, not the criminals must be in charge. I also want to say to you, and you're correct, we have been plagued with this gangsterism and drugs in our community specifically for a very long time. We would hope that the minister and his commissioners in different provinces would come up with a concrete plan to begin to attack. It is inconceivable, Collie, that the minority must continue to rule the majority. I always say that. And we need to also let the communities also become part of the plan. And I will speak later on about the plan that I believe needs to be rolled out in terms of how the communities themselves can find that they are part of the plan that the acting minister wants to implement.
In Gauteng, you have mentioned specific areas, El Dorado Park, Westbury. There is a third one which skips my mind now. How bad, indeed, how bad has gangsterism become there? And the longer it is allowed to flourish, how difficult will it be to root it out, as evidenced by the Western Cape?
Polly, we are in a crisis. I must say we are in a state of emergency here in Johannesburg when it comes to gangsterism and drugs and the killings. What exacerbates and makes the challenge more ghastly for me and worrying more than that is the fact that small young boys, the age of 12 and 13, 3 days ago on Friday, one of the guys that I know very well in the community, is my age, was shot dead by a 13-year-old boy. Guns are being put in their hands for 2,005, 3,000 rand, which I believe is also a driver for the sense that you have social challenges and a social compact plan that is missing in our communities. And we have, for the longest of time, cried out and said that it can't just be policing only that will solve the problem in the Cape Flats or Westbury or Eldos or surrounding areas. But it will also be how the social plan must come into existence, how the economic plan must come into existence, because the children are lured into paying them something to go and take the head of somebody that has been targeted.
Bishop Adams, let me thank you very much for your time. We hope to talk to you when the minister has hopefully responded to your call and whether indeed the stabilization plan that is planned for Western Cape is now going to also be rolled out here in the Gauteng province. Bishop Dulton Adams is chairperson of committees of the Gauteng provincial legislature. Thank you very much for your time.